So by now I would have thought that all of you had seen the brand new Battlefield 4 trailer that came out yesterday at Gamescom, showcasing the new map Paracel Storm. It was a pretty epic trailer, it was extremely action packed and it was full of information. Now I'm not going to insult your intelligence in this video by simply going through the whole trailer and pointing things out. What I'm going to be doing is picking things out that you may have missed. I watched this video through a few times and noticed things on the third time that I didn't notice in the first one. So that's what I'm going to be doing, things that you may have missed. Okay, to start things off, I'm just going to freeze it right there. Now this is one of the first kills that we actually see in the trailer, and it's with a new gun that we've seen. This is the Galil Ace 21 Carbine, so this is going to be available to all kits in the game. And if you cast your eyes up into the kill feed in the top right corner, you'll see two other weapons being used that we haven't seen before either. First of all, we have the MG4, a little screenshot of that has popped up. You actually get to see that later in the trailer, sort of first person action, so that thing's pretty cool. That's a weapon I really wanted to see in the game. And we've also got the DV-15 Interceptor, which is the Chinese attack bow in Battlefield 4. It's the equivalent of the American one, but this is the first time we've seen it come up in the kill feed. Literally a few frames further on we get to have a nice look at one of the holographic sights. One thing that I did want to point out, you may already know about the sight, but it's the glint around the outside, that nice white glow. That wasn't there in the alpha, that's been added in, so this looks like we're getting towards beta time, and this is something that they wanted to include, and it gives a really nice look to that sight. Having watched the trailer through a few times now, I've noticed there's no sort of grounds vehicle combat, so there's no sort of infantry transport vehicles, there's no tanks, there's no jeeps or anything like that. All the combat for vehicles seems to be based in the air and in the water for this map. Next thing I wanted to show you was the field of view in jets. That has indeed now been changed, so anybody in Battlefield 3 who hated the field of view, I know it was one of the most complained about features for jet pilots in Battlefield 3, that has now been rectified. Just thought I'd note as well, this is the J-20 stealth jet that you're seeing here that's available for the Chinese faction. Next part is actually my favourite part of the trailer, I think. We got to have a look at the M82A3 50 cal sniper rifle that's going to be available in Battlefield 4. At the moment we know this as a pickup only weapon, but what I'm really focusing on here is the zeroing that has now been implemented properly into the sights. You can see the zeroing meter there on the left hand side of the sight, and on the right hand side you can see the rangefinder as well, and the two sort of work together, so if you know what sort of range you're looking for, then you can zero your scope to that range. Makes it much easier to hit your target. Something I did actually just spot as well, you can actually see the range on the outside of the weapon as if you're not actually zoomed into the scope. If you look here at the screenshot that I've got of the M82 up there, you see the little blue box on the left hand side of the weapon. That's actually got the zero meter at 200, which is of course what he zeroed at when he zooms in, and it's got an effective range on that as well, which means when you're hip firing you know what sort of thing you're going to be zooming into once you've finished hip firing. I don't really know how useful it's going to be in practice, but it's still kind of a cool feature to have. Another really cool knife animation there, that looks awesome, and it leads on to dynamic weather. This is something I really wanted to see in Battlefield 4, and it's great that it's in there. I don't know if it's just limited to these naval battles, but it does of course affect the whole environment, i.e. the waves in the water, the wind in the air. I don't know if there's actual wind or if it's just animated wind, because if there was actual wind I'd find it extremely hard to snipe. I know it would make it really realistic, but I don't think it's going to be sort of actually affecting bullets and things like that, so it's more just an animation. But it's still really cool to see it in there, because of course it's going to engage users for much longer. Not knowing when the weather's going to turn, it's going to make battles absolutely awesome. And we've perhaps now reached the pinnacle of the trailer. The frigate boat, one of the battleships, crashes into the island. Now that looks absolutely awesome. I have some information about that. The weapons on that battleship are actually manable, which means when it's in the water you're able to shoot with the giant cannons off the side of it. And even when it's on the island, the weapons are still manable as well. So if you had control of that boat while it's on the island, you could pretty much control the whole land and all the sea around it, even though the ship is grounded on heavy ground. Now, this was supposed to be the end of the video, but having rewatched the trailer again, I picked out just two more things that I think are really worth of note. The first screenshot that's come up in front of you is obviously the bridge being decimated, but what you might not have noticed, and I've only just realised, is that there's a conquest flag on the battleship that's out in the sea on the left hand side. Do you think perhaps that this is another part of Levolution? Is that the battleship that crashes into the island halfway through the game and then reappears on the island as a new conquest flag? Perhaps that could be really cool if that was the case. And the last bit of information, well, you can already see it. M200 Chaitak intervention. Need I say more? One of the best weapons in the world currently for sniper rifles is coming to Battlefield 4. I'm super hyped for it. But unfortunately, the end of the video is now here, guys. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to drop a like. And all of your comments, I will be reading them down below. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.